The first two games in the Trop have been dominated by pitching, with Tampa Bay taking game one behind a stellar start from Alex Colomé. Then last night, the O's right-hander Miguel Gonzalez stole the show, tossing 7 2/3 shutout innings and leading Baltimore to a 4-0 win. Today, right-hander Nathan Carnes faces lefty Wei-Yin Chen in the rubber game. The Rays' brief stay at home during this road trip comes to an end this afternoon at Tropicana Field. They will take on the Baltimore Orioles after both these clubs have divided shutout performances. The Rays start the day 2 games back in the East. The Orioles 3 games back of New York in the American League East. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. Dwayne Stats, great to have you with us here as the Rays and the Orioles square off, and Nathan Carnes goes to the mound. Young right-hander, great arm, great breaking ball. Strike one is important for him.
Absolutely. You know, he's been tantalizing. That's what Nathan Carnes, if you could sum him up in one word, because you see stretches with Nathan of hitters and of innings put together where he will look as dominant as anyone, and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And that's why it's going to be so important for Nathan Carnes to continue to mature and grow as a starting pitcher by maintaining concentration, because like you said, Dwayne, the stuff is there. The fastball, explosive. That curveball, as good as you'll see. I mean, great depth. He throws it hard. A changeup that is certainly a pitch he can get outs with. But if he's able to maintain his concentration, each pitch with a purpose, he'll have success.
So Carnes 1-1 on the year, 0-1 in 2 career starts against Baltimore. And he draws as his pitching opponent, lefty Wei-Yin Chen. Let's see, against the Rays, a mark of 3 wins, 4 losses, and a .342 earned run average, making his 5th start of the season here this afternoon. Rays and the Orioles. Rays will hit the road and head to Boston upon the completion of this game. Back with the starting lineups in the first pitch in a moment. set to play baseball at Tropicana Field with the Rays and the Orioles meeting again today. Rays 13 and 11, and Baltimore coming in 11 and 11. Starting lineup for the Rays, hitting first. Brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. Brandon Geyer leads off, then Steven Souza Jr. Logan Forsythe hits third in front of Evan Longoria. Joey Butler just up from the Durham Bulls at DH. James Loney hits sixth. Then Beckham gets a start at short. Kevin Kiermaier in center. Rene Rivera will do the catching at bat ninth.
Well, they will go up against the left-hander for the Baltimore Orioles, Wei-Yin Chen, making his fifth start of the season. Winless so far, but the ERA good at 2.78, 22 2/3 innings. Does have 9 walks to go along with 16 strikeouts. An opponent average in a good spot.
Kevin Cash has his club running second in the American League East. Hoping to get a little more offense here in the wrap-up game of this series. First pitch to Brandon Geyer is too low. First pitch presented by Pinch a Penny. So we are underway. That's a shot, but it's going to be foul.
Well, this is going to be the same game plan for these Rays hitters against Chen as it was for Miguel Gonzalez, except Chen being the lefty. Same idea, not overpowering, but has a real good idea of how to pitch, how to sequence, how to use the strike zone.
2-1. Chen, a 16-game winner a year ago, 16-6. Coming off a no decision first time the Rays saw him this year. On the 7th of April. Fly ball short center. And Jones is there, one away.
Well, let's take a look at the Baltimore defense as it lines up this afternoon. In the outfield, left to right, we have Travis Snyder, Adam Jones, and Delman Young. Across the infield, third to first, Manny Machado, Everett Cabrera, Steve Pearce, and Chris Davis. Caleb Joseph back behind the plate.
Steven Souza Jr. looking for his first hit of the series. There's strike one. Souza 0 for 4 Friday night and 0 for 4 last night. And quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Souza out on strikes. 2 up and 2 down.
Boy, Wei-Yin Chen making short work as Steven Souza Jr. here finishes him off with the fastball away. You see that front hip of Souza Jr. leaking just a little bit early, and that's always going to make it difficult to reach that pitch on the outer half.
There's Logan Forsythe. He takes a strike. GMC big matchup. Logan up in the third spot. 4 for 14. 2 of those hits home runs in his career against Wei-Yin Chen. And the curveball in for strike 2. 0-2.
Well, he'll come with that fastball, the curveball, slider, changeup. You just hope he's not as sharp as Gonzalez was in last night's game. But early on, Chen looks good.
Retired Geyer and Souza ahead of Forsythe. Jammed him, and a little popper handled by the second baseman Pearce right in front of the bag on the fastball in. Bottom of the first coming up, no score. Baltimore, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Manny Machado will again lead off. First 2 times he's been in the leadoff spot this year. Jimmy Paredes, the DH. Adam Jones hits third in front of Chris Davis and Steve Pearce. Delman Young in right 6th. The left fielders Travis Snyder, Caleb Joseph, a homer last night, bats 8th, and the shortstop is Everett Cabrera in the 9th spot.
Taking the mound this afternoon for the Tampa Bay Rays, right-hander Nathan Carnes, making his 6th start of the season already. He leads all rookies with 28 1/3 innings and also 25 strikeouts.
Machado starts the day at 247. And the pitch from Carnes is a fastball low. 1 ball, no strikes. As we mentioned at the outset, strike 1 is important for Carnes.
He just threw it.
That was a very close pitch. You're right. High popper into shallow right. Forsythe out from second handles it. Machado is retired.
Well, and obviously Nathan Carnes, remembering just over 3 weeks ago when he faced this team here, important strike 1, important quick start. They were able to jump Nathan for 6 runs in the first 2 innings of that start. Actually, since then, his numbers are very, very good. You take those 2 innings out of it, but important to be precise early on because this Baltimore lineup, as we've seen, can put together runs in a hurry.
Paredes comes out swinging and fouls a fastball back for strike 1. Well, here's the breakout. The first 2 innings of his first start that came against the Orioles. First 2 innings, 6 runs, and then shut him down over the next 3 2/3. 1-1. Always some interesting numbers with him, and a lot of them have to do with just excellence. And then the bottom seems to fall out for an inning or so. And then he'll run 9, 10, 12 in a row, retired after that.
And really, when you think of, when that is described to you, when you watch it, it's a concentration issue. It truly is. His stuff is very good. He'll be on some kind of a roll, like you said, like that right there. This at bat against Paredes. I mean, just abused him. The fastball up and away, followed by that curveball.
Yeah, that curveball is devastating.
It really is. And that's why when you say strike 1, pitching ahead allows that pitch to then be taken out of the zone. We've been harping on that all season long, but you see that pitch starts in the zone, and the depth on the break is so big that he can afford to take it out, and guys will chase with 2 strikes. But then, like you said, but then all of a sudden, it just seems like there'll be 2 or 3 walks in a row after retiring 12 men in a row. There's nothing wrong mechanically. I think it really just boils down to concentration and maintaining that each and every pitch of your outing.
Adam Jones fouls that first pitch away, and a youngster in the stands made a nice catch, brought his glove, and made a good catch on that foul ball. Jones leading the American League in hitting at .373. Foul ball out of play. Here's the batting race. Jose Altuve, batting champ, coming off last year at .371, 2 back of Adam Jones.
Jose Altuve, part of that.
What's
that
going
Houston
on over
Astro, yeah, that team.
Wow.
I mean, offensively, what was it in that Mariners game yesterday? There were 9 home runs combined.
Yeah, and they are now 10 games over 500, 17-7. They've won 9 in a row.
And what is their lead now? 6,
They're
5,
6 over the Angels.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
I mean, if you look at the you look at the races overall, we'll get a chance to do that maybe. There's the West. Houston with a 6-game lead over the Los Angeles Angels. And the National League has some clubs starting to assert themselves. The Mets, they got off that great run. They're 16-9. base hit into center for Jones. An 0-2 breaking ball, and Jones stayed with it.
And you really can't put that one on Nathan Carnes. I mean, yeah, Adam Jones did reach that pitch. You'd like to put it in a spot where if he's going to swing at it, he won't even be able to put it in play. But you see they want it down and away. It's more down middle. And when a guy's running up there with a 373 average, there's a reason why.
You could see Carnes in the aftermath of that just reminding himself, don't leave it in the middle.
Get it out there.
That's right.
And that's what you have to. You know the counts where you can afford to be a little loose. When you get to 0-2, you can say to yourself, this is not going to be a strike. Nowhere near. And if I miss badly because I yanked it, okay, now it's 1-2. Yep. But you can't have the 0-2 a little too good. Now he's got a chance, and let him bail himself out.
It was a strike to Chris Davis.
That comes right back, boils right back to the concentration issue.
And, one thing, as we all know in this game, one thing then leads to another. You got a chance here ahead of Jones. He likes to swing, throw him one in the dirt. Maybe you don't even face this guy. Now you've got a guy at first, Chris Davis, with, as we all know, big-time power. And he is 2 for 4 with a home run off Carnes.
And what's Carnes' mindset? Are you still upset about the pitch that you missed to Adam Jones? Is that going to bleed over into this at bat? You have to be, understand that you missed that pitch, you didn't put it where you wanted to, and then it's over with.
Picks up a strike to square the count on the fastball 2-2. Well, you'd better not be thinking about that curveball that wasn't as good as you'd like it to be.
Yeah, well,
not
absolutely.
With this guy at the plate.
No doubt about it. And but it's easier said than done. But it's necessary if you want to be a major league starting pitcher, or really a major league pitcher in general.
Strike 3 call, got him looking. So he strikes out Davis, leaves Jones at first. And at the end of an inning, we have no score. Well, that's a nice pitch, well located.
Prior to the game, as they used the disabled list for the 14th time this year. Desmond Jennings, with that left knee bursitis, goes on the DL. And guys, the new man on the roster is another rookie for the Rays, Joey Butler. Butler having a nice year at AAA Durham, providing some power behind Evan Longoria. He was a teammate for manager Kevin Cash when they were at Round Rock in 2011. Chris Davis was also on that team, a team that averaged almost 6 runs a game for the entire season. And Davis hit almost had a home run every less than 4 at-bats for that team. Guys, back to you.
Well, there you go. And Evan Longoria leads off with Joey Butler waiting to hit next. Foul out of play. Having 2 hits short of 1,000 in his career. Three balls, 1 strike. And there's ball 4. Leadoff walk. So Desmond Jennings goes on the disabled list with bursitis in his knee. And so the Rays are essentially back in full force now with him on the DL. And Joey Butler coming up from Durham.
A little chilly in the Trop today.
Apparently. Well, they're adjusting those sleeves right now. And the pitch is a strike to him on the corner. Butler at Durham hitting .317 with a couple home runs and 15 runs batted in. And you saw those big league totals combined between the Texas Rangers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Butler has some power. He hit a ball this spring. He was in camp as a non-roster player. Hit a ball out of sight. Strikeouts has been an issue with him in his career. Attempting to cut down on that level and make more contact.
It sounds groovy, man. Out of sight. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, how about, listen, well, think about him and the Rays situation as they, look for offense. This team near the bottom of the American League in runs per game. And so he gets the call, and it's like, hey, by the way, it's a day game, so you get here early. Forget about a glove. We're just going to have you hit right in the middle of the lineup, right behind Evan Longoria.
Yeah, come in to protect the number 4 hitter.
Get here soon.
Takes a big cut, fouls it back.
Well, they need to find something because the middle of the Rays lineup not nearly as productive and dynamic as you would hope that they would be thus far. That man right there just not seeing consistent pitching. Everybody pitching around him. He took the walk to lead off the inning. And when he has gotten the pitches, he hasn't always been able to make the pitcher pay.
Upstairs. And remember, Evan came into this game hitting .280. A couple of weeks ago, before he got on that little run, he was hitting about .200 with an on-base percentage of .380 or
it was
pushing
up over
4.
Yeah, absolutely. And that right there just shows you.
That tells you everything you need to know.
And we're pitching you on the fringes.
Ground ball by the mound is short. Cabrera with the pickup and throw to first, and Butler grounds into a double play. Then he races the leadoff walk.
Now this ball coming in, and it just is able to crowd Butler enough. You take the sting out of that ground ball, and it makes for an easy turn there, unassisted by Cabrera.
James Loney facing the left-hander. That's a strike. And that's a strike. 0-2. And Chin, 29 years old. He'll be 30 in late July. And he's given the Orioles rotation some consistency in his spot.
He's, very stoic on the mound. He's got a good idea of what he's doing. He's a left-hander that relies on hitting his spots, changing speeds, moving the ball around. and he makes all his starts. You know, he had 31 starts last year. The year before, missed a little bit of time. But
the thing about him, he'll give up some hits with innings pitched.
Oh, yeah.
Like last year, more hits than innings pitched.
Yep.
He doesn't walk many people.
He doesn't, and he's outstanding with runners in scoring position. This year, the opposition just 1 out of 16 against him.
There's a shot. Well hit to right and gone. James Loney puts the Rays out in front.
What Chen didn't account for is that James Loney's in scoring position in the batter's box. And he got a mistake. This is what you got to do. Didn't get to its spot. Capitalize. Boy, he did.
Loney hits his second home run of the year. Hit it hard and on a line and into the second row in right field. Suddenly the Rays are on the board as Chen prepares to work to Tim Beckham. He misses a fastball, strike one. Beckham lifts it into center. Jones grabs that one to retire the Rays. But on the second home run of the year by James Loney, the Rays are out in front 1-0 to an inning and a half. Top. Loney's first home run this year was off the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. And he connects against the lefty. Wei-Yin Chen this afternoon.
Chen's now given up 5 home runs in 24 2/3 innings. He's around the plate, so you try to take advantage. James Loney did just that.
Steve Pearce will open the bottom of the second inning against Nathan Carnes. And there is ball one. Pearce had a couple hits off Carnes back on April the 7th in the start Nathan made against him. One of those hits, a 2-run home run.
And it was on that pitch. It was a breaking ball that stayed middle in.
An 0-2 pitch, by the way.
Yep.
Which makes it sting even more. And don't chance on that one.
No, they're looking for something completely different. Steve Pearce absolutely blown away by that fastball. Very tardy with the swing.
Carnes had a couple strikeouts in the first. Got the first two men, gave up an 0-2 base hit to Adam Jones, and then struck out Chris Davis. Popper, short left center. Beckham's out there calling for it. So the Rays shortstop makes the catch on that one.
Right fielder, number 27, Melvin Young.
Join the Rays in helping your favorite local nonprofits by making an online donation during Give Day Tampa Bay, May 5th. Learn more or commit to donate at givedaytampabay.org. Melvin Young fouls it back for a strike. One. One and two. Young playing right field. Hitting sixth, and Buck Showalter's lined up. A tap to third, and a nice play by the bag on the stoop. Longoria, nicely done. Not an easy play at all.
No. Those are tough when you're moving straight ahead. He's got to be heading in and towards third base, and knows he's going to get that short in-between hop. This is just do or die. Makes it look very, very easy. How about the throw? On the money.
He's got the angle, the bag, that short hop, and did it perfectly. Snyder lifts it into left where Geyer camps under it. And a quick inning here in the bottom of the second. On to the third, 1-0 Rays. On Sun Sports, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo Spark is the most affordable watercraft on the water, starting at only $49.99 for as low as $79 a month. And by Grow Financial. Don't go through life, grow through life with Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. Kevin Kiermaier against the left-hander Chen. He starts him with the fastball close. All those strikes. Kiermaier is 3 for 7 with a homer and a triple off Chen. Might be one of the reasons he started that pitch in on him off the plate. 1-1.
I don't think there's any doubt to that. When you've got a guy, especially left on left, that's had a lot of success off of you, you make him uncomfortable and you serve notice early. First pitch.
Ball, 2 strikes overall. Look at this breakdown for Kiermaier against lefties.
Well, you got to like where those numbers are. With him, James Loney, been historically good against left-handers. And that's why you'd like to see those guys out there every day. It doesn't matter what the matchup is.
You look at Chen's career, the breakout lefty righty, in terms of average. Oh, there's a nice play by Chen on that chopper that gets by him. Who knows what could happen? And so Kiermaier is out on the chop back to the mound. 1 away. Chen, for an example, last year, if you break down lefty righty, left-handed batters actually hit a little better than right-handed hitters off him, 268 to 266. But when you look at the slugging percentage, there's a noticeable difference, and righties had an advantage there, although you couldn't prove that by James Loney.
Right. Well, the one thing that a left-handed batter does against Chen, they completely neutralize that pitch right there, which is the changeup. He does not throw it. Very rarely does he throw that to a left-handed hitter. He becomes a fastball, breaking ball pitcher, where the right-hander has to deal with the changeup, and sometimes they lose the bat.
Yeah, that doesn't feel all that good to a hitter either.
Oh, that thing rips right through your hands. Yeah, that's. Now, if you helicopter it in foul territory down the line, those aren't too bad. The one you hold on to it all the way behind you.
The wrist feels it much more.
Yep. Not fun.
It was part of the genius of Kelly Shopping, when he would helicopter those bats down beyond the third base dugout. Saved his wrist.
And Olympic with the launch. I mean, if they were going to hand out medals, he had to be the favorite.
1-2. Gold medalist in the bat toss. Kelly Shopping on the stand, and we can see him now. Rivera out on strikes. Fastball started him with the changeup. Strikes him out with the fastball up.
And this is how Chen pitches. The change of speeds, the change of location. You start with the changeup away, and throughout the sequence, you work your way in and up with a heater. And the hitter just not able to get there.
Brandon Guyer, the top side of the order. Upstairs. There's an extra base hit. Up the left field line. Kicks back to Snyder. Guyer's on his way to second with a double.
Oh, that was another mistake by Chen that a Rays hitter capitalized on. I don't know if this was a changeup that cut or a slider that just never got there. Stayed out over the middle. And look at Guyer. Right down on top of it. Recognizes the pitch out of the hand and is able to keep it fair.
Two outs and a man in scoring position for Steven Souza Jr. Well, this would be a good time to snap this hitless streak for Souza. 0 for 14 right now, with a man in scoring position. He looks at a strike. Pop foul. Heads out of play. The Rays overall hitting .230 as a team and just .211 with men in scoring position.
As we highlighted earlier, Chen really tough with runners in scoring position.
And he got him on 3 pitches, struck him out. Rays leave a man through 2.5. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Base Matt Moore, who today threw live batting practice to 3 Rays players, 25 pitches, fastball mixed in the curve and change. And we asked Matt how important today was.
Absolutely. This is so far this has been the biggest step. I mean, before this the other step was getting back on the mound. Before that it was just playing catch again. So each step does, it feels, there's a bit of gratitude that goes there because of the work of a lot of people that are around me, helping me get better. So it feels good from not only physically, but around the locker room to be able to have that, share that happiness with the training staff and players.
Guys, things are going really well. In fact, Matt's a little bit ahead of schedule right now, and he kind of joked at the end of the interview that he and Alice Cobb talk about how they hope to be able to break back into this rotation as well as it's been going. Back to you.
Yeah, that was so fun to see him out there. He played catch in the outfield and came in and threw off the mound. And we saw his velocity was
around me
between 88 and 92. And we saw that earlier curveball. He threw a great curveball to Beckham.
Yeah, he did. And that's always nice. You get back out there on the mound, because you can throw bullpens and you feel like you're throwing them, good concentration, you're letting it loose. There's something different when a hitter gets in the box. And I don't care if it's in a game with 20,000 fans or if it's before batting practice. When a hitter stands in there, there's a different level that you go to. So big step for him, and nice to see that he threw the ball well and felt well coming out of it.
There you go. He just hopes that he'll be back before the All-Star break. The one thing the Rays do not do with that great young pitching talent is rush it back. And there's no upside in that. But he may actually be back before he thought. So we'll see.
Yep. When you think about, if you come back 2 or 3 starts sooner, like you said, what's the upside? You want this guy for the next 10 years to be healthy. So they will take their time. But you know that when he does come back, he'll be ready. He'll have been cleared and ready to go 100%.
What a great stop by Forsythe out of the defensive alignment, and boy, what a grab and throw. They had him just shifted in the defense to the left side of the bag, and he made a great stop and maybe an even better throw.
Yeah, it was a long throw, and he really didn't have time afforded to be able to step into it. You see Logan Forsythe right here. Caleb Joseph is going to make a bid. But boy, oh boy, watch this, and then he knows he's got to hurry. And it's just spin and fire, and he's able to get it to Loney in time.
Well, that's some nice defensive work. Cabrera takes a curveball down and in. Forsythe acting quickly there after the great stop.
You know, you have to have such good body control as an infielder out, you know, making those types of throws. Because if you go back and look at that angle that we were just showing, the second one, he is not stepping. You know, you want to step into your throw. That's the way that you want to do it, to have an accurate on-the-money throw. He's just opened his hip just to clear his arm, and now it becomes a feel thing. You've just got to feel for that release point. You don't practice these types of throws typically. This is just feel. I mean, right there, stepping, falling away, and you get it within the wingspan of James Loney. That's outstanding body control by Logan Forsythe.
And a nice job by Loney on the receiving end as usual. Machado takes a curveball for a strike. Well, nice play by Longoria on that little ball hit by Young in the second, and just a great play by Forsythe on the ball hit by Joseph in the third. Line drive right at Forsythe, positioned perfectly. 1, 2, 3. Go the Orioles. We'll take another look at Logan Forsythe and his handiwork out there at second base. Braves lead 1-0. What a star on it. Played the inning before and then leads off the next inning. So here's Logan Forsythe to begin the fourth. Chin throws him a fastball, strike one. Forsythe, Longoria, and then Butler due up. Chen got ahead of Forsythe in the first and threw him a fastball in. Got a little popper out to second. Drives this one toward right center. Jones angling for it, but can't get there. It's going to go to the wall. Forsythe turns it on around second, goes to third. Safe it. No! He overslid the bag and they tag him out. Could not keep that foot on the bag. Great hustle by Forsythe. He got to third, but couldn't stay on the bag.
Boy, does that hurt. Logan Forsythe, first of all, the hustle out of the box, and it leads to this. Coming in hot, but how about Manny Machado staying with it, and then dropping the tag on that left foot of Logan Forsythe. You know, you're trying to hold on for dear life. We see that a lot of guys will slide over the bag and hook that bag with their foot, and it just comes unhinged.
So the Rays lose an opening triple. Overslid the bag. Oh, the 1-0 to Longoria. He hits one high and deep. I mean, deep, but it's going to be foul. Bounding off the facade of the upper deck. Wow. How about that for a ride?
We got dizzy just trying to follow it. Did you see that ball just foul? That was a blast. Hitter's reaction, though, will let you know, and Evan immediately was peeking down that left field line with the thought that it was going to hook foul, and it did.
Two and two. Yeah, what a shame for Forsythe. Great hustle, and you're right out of the box. And then he really turned it on around second and had it, just couldn't stay on the bag.
And you see that a lot with the head first slide. You know, you don't slide into the bag with your arms outstretched and stop there. Those hands hit the bag, and then you kind of go over the top, and you'll hook that bag with your leg. But Logan Forsythe, in running out of the box all the way to third, had so much momentum built up. Figured there was going to be a close play at third that he really just, I mean, Pete Rose style with the dive, like Superman. And all of a sudden, you know, you've just got too much momentum, and you can't hook it. And he's got a chance here. And here he goes. Now you're going to make the big turn, and then watch this dive. He is hauling.
Yeah, to add insult to injury, that turns out to be a double for him. 1-0, and the ruling on that being that he was into third but never really secured the bag. And so it goes as a double, and he's out at third.
Was the same guy that came up with that rule that came up with a consecutive innings scoreless rule.
I knew I could count on you.
Oh my gosh. Same dude.
Yep.
You do bait me a lot. Like, you know what I'll go for. And you just kind of troll it out there.
That's just what makes the experience so good.
I'm getting wise to you stats.
Yeah, it's tough for me to think up things like that, too. 1-2 to Butler. Into left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Longoria goes to second on Joey Butler's first hit in a Rays uniform. In the game today and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports.
You know, that was a nice adjustment made by Butler from the first at-bat, second at-bat. That same pitch that got in on him, and he didn't do a double play first time up. He got the hands inside of it this time.
And it's going to be really interesting to watch him. You know, he was kind of interesting in the spring. We mentioned the big power he had, and he's always had that. But if he can cut down on his strikeouts, And as much as almost every team needs offense, and we've certainly seen that the Rays need it, he's going to be interesting. A strike to James Loney. He's 29 years old. He's been around, made a trip to Japan, a couple of short big league shots with the Cardinals in Texas, originally drafted by Texas. Popper back at third by Loney, and Machado makes a nice catch approaching the stands. A little basket catch and foul ground for the second out.
Boy, it looked like he had that under control the whole way, and I think towards the end started to feel, when's that wall coming up? He slowed down a little bit, and that's why he had to end up catching this thing basket style. A little bit more difficult of a catch.
Well, 2 outs. Forsythe with an opening double, thrown out at third. 8-6-5 on that play at third. Longoria walked, the base hit by Butler. First and second now with 2 outs after the Loney pop foul to third. And here's Beckham. Tapper, third base side, right at the bag. Grabbed by Machado for the force. And the Rays do not score after all of that. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Mother's Day moment at Tropicana Field with the Rays Shared Moments picture frame. Come out Sunday, May 10th. The Rays take on the Rangers, and all women receive the picture frame while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. A 1-0 game. Rays have gathered 4 hits, but had just the 1 run. A Maloney home run. Nathan Carnes gave up a single to Adam Jones in the first inning. That's it so far. It will be Paredes, then Jones, and Davis due up in the 4th for Baltimore. And the curveball to start the at bat. There's a strike. Paredes had some lower back issues, but since coming off the disabled list has swung a very good bat. It's a ground ball. Forsythe bobbles, but has time, recovers, and throws him out.
Wanted to make it exciting. That's all.
He's been in the middle of all kinds of excitement
Sure
the last
has.
couple innings.
This ball stung by Paredes. Gets a little bit loose. Logan hangs with it. And you're right. He's another one of those Oriole hitters that's kind of stepped up.
Boy, they had a lot of those from all quarters of their roster last year.
Well, the 1-year deal with Nelson Cruz. Who could have envisioned what he put together, although it looks tame by comparison what he's doing so far this year.
Oh, the base hit driven through the hole by Jones. He singled on a curveball his first time up and drives a fastball into left here with 1 out in the 4th.
First baseman, Chris Davis.
Fastball middle up. Adam Jones, free swinger. He's going to go after that pitch every time he sees it. And this one he's able to pop out into left field. And then becomes a base runner here with one out. A big stretch here for Nathan Karns. Still nursing that one-run lead. Coming through the heart of the lineup for the second time.
Pitch away. Davis struck out, caught looking on a pitch away his first time. Two and 0. Davis with 34 strikeouts now and 78 at bats. His swing and a miss percentage up around 36%. Here's an interesting number I ran across with Nathan Karns. Here's a guy, great arm, good velocity on the fastball.
Swing and miss curveball.
Yeah, and a great curveball that, I mean, you could argue that it's certainly the best in the Rays organization. But his swing and miss percentage is just over 17%. It's really baffling to me about that.
No, that's a percentage that you would think would be attributed to a left-handed finesse starter. You know, just trying to get some early contact. You know, where okay, let's just give an example. Chris Archer going into his last start, which was last night, by the way. His swing and miss percentage was over 30%.
Yeah,
almost double. Almost double.
And so you look at things, and we've talked about Karns, and you know he'll dominate, and then he'll run into a string of 3 or 4 or 5 hitters where it all leaves, and he gets hurt. And so you see that reflected throughout his career, actually. And as baffling as that can be, that swing and a miss percentage being that low, really difficult to explain.
And almost a strikeout an inning coming into this start.
Oh, they said he held up. Oh, my goodness.
Listen, Tim Welke had a bad night behind the plate last night, and he's adding to it down at third base. Absolutely. This ball, if he connects with this, it's extra bases. How do you miss that?
Wow.
That's awful.
Yep, sure is. It's a tough one to miss to that guy.
And there are some check swings that are close, could go either way. That could only go one way.
Pierce lines it into right. Going to be caught by Sousa for the out. Steve Pierce is retired on one pitch.
Right fielder, Delman Young.
That'll be Delman Young. Delman, that ground ball right inside the bag that Longoria made such a good play on in the second inning. One ball, no strikes. Young has been very good so far with men in scoring position. He's hitting over 500, 7 of 13 with men in scoring position for Delman. It's out of play, 1-1.
We see him time and again be able to lock it in a big spot and put a good at bat on you. He knows what he wants to do up there as a hitter.
Yeah, and you know, he's always loved hitting first. I think most hitters do. But these are the situations that he lives for. And as a result, his numbers are very good. There's a strike on the outside corner. Picked up the edge, I think.
At the edge of something.
Let's take a look. Well, okay.
Take it.
Got a strike there. They missed the other one. We're all even.
Except that other one put a runner on and got a runner into scoring position.
A tap foul. So we'll see another 1-2 pitch. Jones at second off a single. Davis walked on a check swing. After a short visit, Carnes set. 1-2 again to Young. And he got it right back to the mound. Carnes with a toss to first, and the Orioles lead 2. We're through 4. Nathan Carnes and the Rays lead this game 1-0. The #1 live streaming sports service celebrating 13 years. Keep an eye on the Rays competition and watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv. Kevin Kiermaier to open the inning for the Rays takes ball 1. Kiermaier, Rivera, and then Geyer. One and one.
Chen continuing to make himself at home inside on Kevin Kiermaier. We talked about Kiermaier's success against Chen, and he has continued to pitch him in, especially early in counts.
2-2.
You just try to switch up the way that you pitch a guy. You look at some things that you maybe can do differently, and he is wanting to crowd it.
Base hit back through the middle. Kiermaier with an aggressive turn at first will hang on. Kevin continues to battle up there against lefties and puts together a nice little run of success against southpaw.
Well, and sometimes you can go to the well one too many times. You know, in, but then look where that pitch is. You know, those are tough pitches to make. You've kind of proven your point pitching him in, making him aware of that pitch. And then all of a sudden you miss and yank one right to the middle, and it costs you another hit.
There's the Rays catcher, Rene Rivera. is back in at first. Kiermaier without a steal this year. Wei-Yin Chen has given up one steal this season. A big cut and a miss by Rivera.
Well, the one thing you want Rene Rivera to do as far as hitting goes is to start to cut down on that swing a little bit. That's Chen, that fastball in, that swing was so long. It's just going to be tough to make consistently hard contact. Shorten things up just a little bit.
Popped up. Pierce from second base out there for it. One away. We'll go back around to the top of the order for the Rays now. Brandon Guyer 1 for 2 with a double in the third. Just a little courtesy toss over there at first base. Tapper foul. One strike. We're in the top of the fifth. Ground ball headed for the hole. Through into left. Kiermaier stops at second. So Guyer's 2 out of 3.
Well, this is a changeup that stays middle up. Brandon Guyer able to get around it, pull it over into the hole. Well, and now you've got two guys on base here that this will be fun to watch. These two are trying to run each other right. I mean,
yep. They can be aggressive out there.
Very.
And Steven Souza trying to snap this hitless streak. Now 0 for 15. Takes the pitch upstairs.
Well, that last at bat, he was finished off. It looked like a slider that just kind of hung middle of the plate. The swing was awkward and late, almost as if, looking for something else. Maybe decide to pull the trigger late. But a young player in the big leagues going through a tough stretch like this. There's a lot going on in your mind.
Reaching for the off-speed pitch. 1-1. Rays left a couple men on base in the fourth. Left a man second in the third. Souza fouls this one back.
Well, we haven't seen this stretch you're talking about with Souza Jr. We really haven't seen back-to-back swings that have looked like the same thing, that have replicated each other. You get kind of a slower swing and then a speed-up swing like that, just kind of an in-between swing. No consistency with what's going on right now.
And he takes this one, a called third strike, and boy, when you're struggling, that's exactly what happens.
Or a no swing. And he's had a few of those too. Right there at the knees. Well located.
Two gone, and here's Logan Forsythe now. Kiermaier drawing the attention of Chen, jockeying back and forth away from second with his lead.
Well, you know that him and Brandon Guyer right now are antsy. They want to get started, not used to sitting still.
Strike one.
And with Brandon Guyer not being held on right now, his lead is in the ridiculous range. Way out there. You'll see as Chen gets set, Brandon Guyer taking liberties, and he should. He's not being held on. Chris Davis way off the bag.
Foul, and we'll wind up in the seats. Another catch down there. It's a couple in that area. A ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball. Will that get through? It does into left. Kiermaier's headed to the plate. And the Rays get their second run.
Everett Cabrera has to go down and get that ball. He cannot let that ball get into the outfield. There's not a play that's going to be able to be made. But you've got to keep Kevin Kiermaier at third base. A 1-run game. Logan Forsythe gets that breaking ball over in the hole. You got to dive and knock that ball down, or at least make the attempt.
Forsythe picks up his second hit, a run batted in. He's at first, Guyer's at second. Here's Evan Longoria. One ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Rays 7 hits, 3 in this inning, 2 runs in the game. This one is skied to short right center. Jones makes the catch. The Rays lead 2 but score 1 and lead by 2. lead this one. Who are the 4 players who best represent the history of the Rays? And who are the 4 greatest living Major League Baseball players? Go to MLB.com/franchise4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game, July 14th on Fox. Travis Snyder leads off, takes the pitch outside. A ball and no strikes. One and one. A ball, 2 strikes, the count to Snyder. Joseph next, and then Cabrera. Strike 3 called. That's the first out. Strikeout number 3 for Carnes.
Well, and you could see Nathan Carnes, how excited he was coming off the field that last half inning after retiring Delmon Young on the comebacker, and now trying to exert himself here. He's been given another run, 2-run lead now. Oh, by the way, with Brandon Gomes throwing, you're thinking,
yeah,
could this be it? Pitch count is well in order, as you can see. But this is kind of the same formula that we saw brewing on Friday night. Didn't think that Colomé would come out of that game. He did. This may be a similar situation with Carnes.
I think you're right.
And, you know, that'll be something to keep tabs on, too, because this Rays bullpen, they've thrown a lot of innings. 4th in the American League in innings pitched.
Foul back a third. Beyond the bullpen, and it's now 2-1. Popped into shallow center. Coming in a hurry is Kiermaier. He gets there. Well, Forsythe was out from second base trying to make his way. No chance for him to get there. And out of the blue of the western sky comes Kiermaier to make that catch. 2 gone. And here's Erith Cabrera. Pitch is a strike.
Did you think that there was a chance that with Forsythe out there kind of lingering and Kiermaier coming in so quick that he catches it and then tries to hurdle him?
That's something that we can all look forward to.
we may see that.
Yeah. 2 strikes the count to
just do that little frog jump. You know, catch, boom, spring right over the top. A lot of energy out there today, which is good.
Yeah, it's been fun between those two. You know, with all that's gone on.
We're seeing more and more guys. You know, we've seen Souza, the way that he's comes out of the box. You know, Geyer's the same way. Kiermaier, he's kind of set the tone. Forsythe on that triple. A lot of guys max effort. Makes for a more fun brand of baseball. Puts more pressure on the opposing pitcher and defense.
Pitch is up, 1-2. Braves with a run in the second on Loney's home run. They got a run in the 5th on the Forsythe ground ball, scoring Kiermaier. And that is strike 3 called. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and 1-2-3. Go the Orioles. On to the 6th, 2-0 Rays. On the hill against the Baltimore Orioles this afternoon. 5 scoreless innings of 2-hit baseball with 4 strikeouts and a walk. The Rays facing Wei-Yin Chen. James Loney struck on an 0-2 pitch in the second inning, lined it into the seats in right. Added another run in the 5th when Logan Forsythe got this ball through the left side of the infield, scoring Kevin Kiermaier. So it's 2-0. As the Rays come in to bat in the 6th inning. Joey Butler, who singled in the 4th, lofts a high pop foul, and that ball is out of play. Strike 1. You know, you mentioned early about Nathan Carnes and how well he had pitched aside from those 2 innings when he started against the Orioles first time out. Another one fouled out of play. And if you do, obviously they count, but if you eliminated those since those first 2 innings, Carnes' earned run average over the next 31 1/3 innings is 2.59.
Excellent. I mean, excellent.
So he had a little problem there, settled in, and then gave the Rays some good work in the aftermath of those first 2, and has carried that into all of the starts since then, this being his 6th start of the year, to the tune of 2.59.
And I think if you continue to see him lock it in each and every pitch and avoid those lapses, and even with those lapses, it's a 2.59.
Yeah.
But, you know, he has that kind of stuff and the ability we've seen today to move it from corner to corner and then play the curveball. Haven't seen too many changeups. Hasn't really needed to go there yet.
Butler fouls this one. He's leading off. Loney next, and then Beckham. Three balls, 2 strikes. Towering fly ball toward the right field line. Delman Young is there. It's the first out in the 6th.
Number 21, James Loney.
Pitch coming in on Loney, and he fouls it. Strike 1. High fly ball, not too deep. Young is there for this one, moving to his right. 2 outs. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Strike to Tim Beckham. Beckham starting at shortstop. Down to third, Machado Takes the throw to first. So Beckham is out, and the Rays are finished in order. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 2-0 Rays. The 6th inning. Today's high def highlight presented by H.H. Gregg. And Nathan Carnes is gone after 5, and boy, was he good.
He was. I'll tell you something right now. There's some celebrating going on in that Baltimore Oriole dugout because Nathan Carnes was outstanding. 5 innings, 5 shutout innings, just 66 pitches. Yeah, listen, this is the same formula as Friday night. Get 5 innings, low pitch count, and then go to that bullpen. It worked on Friday with 4 scoreless, and the Rays and Kevin Cash hoping for the same here this afternoon.
Yeah, Machado trying to jump on that first pitch, and he missed the slider. Strike 1. So it's Brandon Gomes on the hill, and there's a bunt and a good one. He has a base hit.
Well, it was Gomes, Giltz, Jepson, and Boxberger. And you're probably looking at the same thing. In fact, the Rays bullpen, they've thrown 6 shutout innings in this series. 6 different pitchers, 1 inning each.
Take a look at our Toyota trend over the last 12 games. That bullpen holding the opposition to a 149 average with a 144 earned run mark.
Listen, coming into this stretch, that stretch started on April the 19th. Through play on April the 18th, the bullpen ERA was over 6. It was 6 1/4. And so they've gotten the ship righted. Double barrel action now. Cedeno up with Geltz. He was impressive last night.
1-1. Radies has struck out and grounded out. 8th appearance for Gomes. Liner into center, and Kiermaier is there making the catch. That's the first out. Adam Jones. Jones has 2 of the 3 hits for the Orioles. Single off a curveball in the first and off a fastball in the 4th inning. Gomes faced him here Friday night, got him to hit the ball on the ground to short. ball, no strikes.
I tell you, you put a lot of pressure on your bullpen in these types of situations, especially when your starter is throwing so well. You know, if he's limping his way through 5 innings, okay. But Friday night with Colomé and then here this afternoon with Carnes, as well as they were throwing, to abandon them early, it would seem, then that, you know, the bullpen's almost eaten up half the game, and they've got to be pretty flawless.
Gutsy move?
It is. I think so. Hey, it worked on Friday.
Sure did. We've talked about it a little bit off and on, but you see more and more teams. That's not going to be a pitch right there, the ball loose from the bullpen. But we have seen more and more teams attempt to build their clubs around shut down bullpens and make them deep and varied. And all of this just may be the next wave.
It is. I mean, it really is. Now, typically when you're thinking, you know, your starter's throwing so well, you're thinking maybe the last 3 innings. But if you continually are asking for 4 innings a game, you know, or thereabouts, that you run the risk of wearing that bullpen out. You know, how much depth do you have down there? Now, granted, Jake McGee, not even a part of this bullpen. That will only make it stronger. But that's a heavy workload. Like I said, they're 4th in the American League coming into play in innings pitched out of that pen. And obviously they get the 4 here today. It's going to go up significantly.
Into the dirt and blocked by Rivera. Well, there was talk about the need for the Rays to be creative with all of the trips to the disabled list and how that rotation. You had an entire rotation on the DL. You had the closer on the DL. They were going to have to be creative. And we've seen him a couple of bullpen days where Gelt's got to start.
Yeah.
And before long, he closed the game. He's pitching in the middle. He's starting games. Ground ball toward the middle, and that ball grabbed by Beckham. Safe, the call at second. Boy, what a great attempt by Beckham to get that force play at second, and the call safe down there by Todd Tischner. Kevin Cass a couple steps out of the dugout.
Yeah, you wonder if he was going to be able to even get to this ball. Number one, he does. Now the flip. Just get it back there, and yeah, it looked like Machado was able to beat it, but not for a lack of effort on Beckham and Forsythe's part.
So Jones is aboard, and I think Kevin is indicating he'd like them to take a look at it. And the Rays haven't had much good fortune in challenging these calls, and probably will continue that trend here, but we'll see. The Chrysler replay challenge now underway.
Well, you know, we had talked, going back to talking about the bullpens, how strong the bullpens are. This is a quick decision, so forget that. Yeah, easy. Just wanted to keep the streak going, that's all.
Well, it has. The Rays have yet to be successful, and the call confirmed. Here's another look.
Trying to watch that ball go into the glove, and you can see Machado's foot.
So Chris Davis is due, and we're going to have another pitching change. to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Courtesy Toyota, you'll love what we do for you. And by Checkers, get Checkers Authentic Philly cheesesteak or try the new meatball sub. Pick yours, 2 for $5. Xavier Cedeno, the new pitcher, the lefty, brought on to face Chris Davis. Pitch is down and away. Cedeno pitched an inning last night, picked up a strikeout, gave up a hit, no runs. One and one the count here on Chris Davis. Did he go? He did not, says Tim Welke.
If he didn't go last time, he never took the bat off his shoulder on that pitch.
All right, that's closer to being right than the last time, so we're making progress. 2 and 1 the count here. And that runs the count to 3 and 1. Take a look at this one.
Yeah, front door. Well, could have been.
Machado at second. His bunt single started it. Jones got an infield hit out of the ball up the middle. 3-1 breaking ball there for strike 2.
Not giving in. Cedeno not going to give in with the heater, and he throws very good breaking ball. Keeps that in the middle of the plate. Sweeps it right off.
Two men on and a 2-run ball game. Power at the plate. He got him. Struck him out. Well, he threw it 3-1. Why not 3-2? And he got him.
Almost the same pitch. Actually, maybe even a little bit better. Kept it down. And Davis not able to make that adjustment.
Cedeno gets his man. Pitching change coming. Back in a moment. what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. The pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Jake Odorizzi. He'll be after his 3rd win of the year tomorrow night. And Orestes will break down Mookie Betts. Two men on with 2 men out now. Steve Pearce due. But we're going to see Ray Navarro with Steve Geltz on the hill for the Rays. Cut and a miss. Geltz had been one of the pitchers in the game here Friday night. He followed Gomes. And today he's following Gomes and Cedeno after Nathan Carnes worked the first 5. Navarro, pinch hitting, made his major league debut last Friday. A week ago this past Friday when he was recalled from AAA Norfolk.
Yeah.
He gets a base hit into right. Souza up with it. Machado's going to try to score. The throw is not in time. That makes it 2-1. Machado scores from second on the pinch hit single by Ray Navarro.
Now here's the throw by Souza. He's got a chance. The 2 hops takes a little bit of steam out of that throw, and Manny Machado able to sneak in the left hand as Rivera trying to dive back towards home plate and make the tag. Not in time.
So it's a 1-run ball game. 2 men on, 2 men out. Delman Young becomes the hitter. Fouled back for a strike. Two. Tommy Hunter up in the bullpen for Baltimore. Two on, 2 out, 2 strikes the count. Geltz against Young. Young fouls it. The run charged to Gomes. Geltz worked the 7th inning in the game Friday. Trying to close the 6th inning this afternoon. One ball, 2 strikes.
Delman Young will make him earn it. We talked about the work that he's done with runners in scoring position. Smart hitter. But down in the count here.
2-2. We're going to go all the way to 3-2 now. We threw him a slider and he would not chase that one. "3-2, runners go." It's bounced foul into the dugout. Jones returns to second. Navarro back to first.
Well, and with those two guys going, you've got speed on the base paths. A dangerous hitter at the plate. This is a tough spot here for Geltz. Got to come up with one nasty pitch. Try to end this at bat.
He got it. Struck him out swinging on the fastball. Delman Young strikes out. Baltimore gets one. The Orioles lead two. Geltz with a big strikeout to end the inning. And the Rays lead 2-1.
With all due respect to season ticket holders, because we love you guys and the Rays wouldn't be what they are without you, but there's a different energy level and enthusiasm this weekend, guys, and I can remember. I mean, a lot of these people sit in the 300 levels or the party deck, but they get their first chance to be right up here on the field. And I'm telling you what, it's been a lot of fun this weekend. At very short notice, I think the whole lower bowl is pretty much filled today. Guys, back to you.
It's a Todd Callis party. There's Kiermaier.
When isn't it a Todd Callis party?
He can't help it. He just can't help it. Just the way he is.
The Pied Piper of party goers.
Yep. It's Tommy Hunter making his 10th appearance.
Well, I agree with him on the crowd. It has been festive all three games.
1-1 now. Kiermaier, Rivera, and Geyer due up. And because they want to make sure that they get the best seat, you know, batting practice the first two nights of this series. Had more folks here for that. Cabrera out from shortstop, makes the catch on Kiermaier's pop-up, one away. Navarro's now playing second.
Number 44, Rene Rivera.
Navarro got the pinch hit single to right that drove in a run. Hunter's second appearance of the series. A ball, no strikes, missed with the curveball. Up with that one again. 2-0. Hunter faced Cabrera, Longoria, and Loney in the ninth inning of the first game of this series on Friday night. Pours a strike in the mid-90s. 2-1. High pop-up. Joseph and Davis takes it away from Joseph to make the catch coming down from first. Well, 2 gone now. That gives Rivera an 0 for 12. Later tonight, stay tuned for extensive coverage of the Lightning as they take on the Canadians in the chase to the Stanley Cup. Lightning Live postgame following the conclusion of Game 2 between Tampa Bay and Montreal. Boy, that Game 1 double overtime, outstanding.
That was able to make it home and then not home to watch the end. It was really good fun.
Yeah, that was great.
On the road. Short rest.
Wow.
Big win.
Yep. That was fun. Ground ball shortstop. Cabrera throws out Geyer, and the Rays are up and down 1-2-3 in the 7th. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Today's game summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. Rays up 2-1. James Loney opened the scoring with the 2nd inning home run. Got another run in the 5th on a base hit by Logan Forsythe, scoring Kevin Kiermaier. And Nathan Carnes gave the Rays an excellent start tonight. 5 innings of 2 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeout baseball. Carnes very good here this afternoon against Baltimore. So here we go into the bottom of the 7th. Steve Geltz, who closed out the 6th, getting Young on strikes to leave 2 runners, will face Travis Snyder. Travis Snyder 0 for 2. He's called out on strikes in the 5th. And a base hit into right on the first pitch. Off speed, and Snyder's aboard.
Number 36, Caleb Joseph.
Well, there's a split there by Geltz, and it really never does much. Kind of tumbling in the middle of the plate. And Snyder able to recognize it, pop it out into right field, lead off man aboard. A one-run game, the Rays bullpen gave up that run in the bottom of the 6th inning. First run they've given up in this series.
Here's Caleb Joseph. We saw his power last night when he belted a home run to left in the 6th. No ball, no strikes. Both bullpens busy. Kevin Jepson up for the Rays. Darren O'Day is throwing in the bullpen for Baltimore. Yeah. Ties up Joseph with that pitch, and the count is 1-1. A strike. No ball, 2 strikes. Still 1-2. Lead it 2-1 here. The Yankees and Red Sox play tonight at Fenway. Snyder backhand at first. Joseph out on strikes. Fastball away, got him. 7 strikeouts for Rays pitching.
Well, nothing fancy about this. Just drive a fastball to the outside corner and then some, and see if Caleb Joseph will go for it. He did, and nothing to show for it.
That's a nice 1-2 pitch right there, heading the count. There's Cabrera, the shortstop.
A little bit of wiggle room he could try to exploit. This Rays pitching staff is, they'll run up some big strikeout numbers. The bullpen's been very good at that.
Down and in. Ball, 2 strikes. Another low scoring game here for the Rays. The Rays had scored 2 runs on just 8 hits in the first 2 games of this series. They have 2 runs on 7 hits today. And the Orioles have a run on 6 hits.
Yeah, this game holds up. You realize the Rays could go through a 3-game series and score 4 runs and potentially win 2 of them.
That's amazing.
Really.
Truly amazing. Two and one. Cabrera playing shortstop. Top of the order, you saw Machado's on deck. Popper toward the line and left. Geyer on the move. He's there in foul ground making the catch. 2 outs and that leadoff single. Snyder remains at first with the top of the order approaching the plate. It was Machado's bunt single that keyed the run the Orioles scored in the 6th.
Last minute instructions. Geltz and Rivera, big hitter here. Machado dangerous out of that leadoff spot. Runner aboard, 2 outs. We're talking about a 1-run game late. Every out is huge.
Machado's popped to second, line to second, leading up to the bunt single. It's outside 1-0. Geltz got ahead of Machado here in the game on Friday night and then got him looking on a fastball away. He falls behind him this time, 2-0. Three low, a 2-0 slider. 3-0.
Man, you run the risk now of moving that runner from first right into scoring position immediately. At the same time, you don't want to give in here. Machado, like you said, dangerous, especially so when he's ahead in the count, 3-0.
And there's ball 4, and that will push Snyder up to second. Kevin Cash out of the dugout. We'll see a pitching change here. On with 2 outs. Here's today's great moment in Rays history presented by Geico. Paul Sorrento hits the first grand slam in Rays history and drives in 6 runs. A team record that stood for 9 years for Paul Sorrento. Slam coming in Cleveland. David Lowe's going to run at second base for Snyder. And Kevin Jepson takes over on the mound. Jimmy Paredes, the hitter, and a base hit past the diving Longoria. Here comes the tying run to score. Into third, Machado. Paredes up to second, and the Orioles have tied the game. Paredes, who's been hot since being activated, gets this one by Longoria.
Well, he was able to recognize the spin breaking ball, and it was away from him. He gets extension, hits it hard enough to elude Evan Longoria down there at third base, and this was the fear of Carnes coming out of the game early. You've got to go to the bullpen for an extended period. You've used up a bunch of pitchers already, and now the Orioles have tied it up and looking to go ahead.
2 men in scoring position, and here's Adam Jones. Pitch upstairs. Well, we're in the bottom of the 7th inning, and since the 5th inning ended, the Rays have used 4 pitchers following Carnes
for 5 outs. And Carnes was cruising.
Well, to strike, it's 1-1. Hard curve makes it 1-2. Into the dirt, blocked by Rivera. Another curveball, and this time Jones recognized it, would not chase. Jones 3 for 3 on the day. 4 for 4. Machado scores. Throw comes to the plate late. Paredes scores. Jones drives in 2, and it's 4-2 Baltimore.
Adam Jones, red hot, came in leading in batting average and has tacked on 4 more hits today. None bigger than that one right there. 2 strike, got a breaking ball, drove it right back up the middle, and the Orioles taking the lead.
Now Chris Davis. It's low and blocked in time by Rivera. So a run charged to Gomes, 2 to Geltz, and 1 to Jepson. There's a base hit into right. Davis is on. Jones stops at second. 4 consecutive hitters have reached base on a walk and 3 hits.
It's been nothing but trouble for the Rays bullpen here this afternoon. They've been so good. We showed that graphic the last 12 games in this series. And we're going to get another change here.
Well, Navarro's due to hit. Ramirez has been up in the bullpen, and there is the call down to the bullpen. Jepson departs, giving up 3 hits. Back in a moment. information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com and by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Been a tough inning here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The very same strategy the Rays utilized here Friday night. 5 innings from their starter and then turn it over to the bullpen that worked in a combination 4-hit shutout, 2-0 victory. Has had the opposite effect here in this game today. Here's Ray Navarro. He entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th and singled in the first run of the day for Baltimore. And the Orioles have followed up with 3 here in the 7th. And Erasmo Ramirez in the game. And he falls behind Navarro 2-0.
You know, and it wouldn't be that big of a talking point if it wasn't for the fact that the Rays starters that went the 5 innings did so with a pitch count right around 12, 13 per inning and a very clean outing. And like you said, we talked about it on Friday. If you're going to do that, you got to win that game. When a guy's dealing through 5 innings, they did. They closed it down, but they've just put themselves in a position. The bullpen didn't even need to be put in this position. Carnes, you remember, he got that last out on Delman Young to end the 4th inning with runners in scoring position. He gets that comebacker. You can see the excitement. He comes right back out in the 5th, has a quick, clean 5th inning, strikes out 2 looking, and then day over. That's a clean line. 66 pitches. Just
3-1, popped into short left, going to be caught by Geyer. 8 men come to the plate. The Orioles score 3 to take the lead. Adam Jones got a key hit on the single into center. And it's 4-2 Baltimore. Coming up on Rays Live, the post game presented by Checkers. Rich and Arestas anchor the coverage. We'll hear from Kevin Cash at his press conference, and Todd Callis will have interviews from the clubhouse. Well, you can see the turn of events on the face of Kevin Cash there as David Lowe goes in to play left. Darren O'Day makes his 10th appearance of the year with a 0.96 earned run average.
Well, tough against righties and lefties. You think sometimes those lefties get a better look at O'Day because of his arm angle. Not so.
Steven Souza Jr. leads it off. He hits a little number foul. Souza 0 for his last 16. Been a tough series for him. He struck out 4 times here Friday. 0 for 4 with a strikeout in last night's game, and 0 for 3 strikeouts today. And down 0-2 in the count this time. You see him shaking his head. You have a hitter talking to himself. Not a good place to be.
Well, and from one swing to the next, none of them look the same.
And on top of it, now you face a guy from this angle.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about not getting any easier. You spend the first 2 or 3 pitches trying to pick up the release point. Sometimes by then it's too late.
And he's out on strikes. And just not long enough. One out in the 8th.
How much ground that pitch covers. One side of the plate to off on the other.
Here's Logan Forsythe, who's 2 for 3. Looks at a strike. O'Day pitched the 8th inning Friday night. Ground ball deep short. Cabrera's throw is high. Logan is aboard. Forsythe on base for the 3rd time.
And what really should have been a routine play out there at shortstop, Cabrera gets caught right here with his footwork. Not able to really step into the throw and never gets the hand out in front. That ball sails. And Forsythe, you know, he's hustling down the line. Darren O'Day not at all happy. Well, gets the tying run to the plate.
3rd error of the year charged to Cabrera. And here's Evan Longoria. Strike called. Evan 0 for 1 with a couple walks. Inside. 1-1. T-Mobile game changer. Longoria looking for 2 more hits to get to 1,000 in his career, trailing Carl Crawford and Vince Zobrist on the all-time Rays hit list. Spears 2-1. Evan 2 for 12 in his career against O'Day. And up in the count right now, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, O'Day's been touched for 2 home runs this season already in just over 9 innings of work.
And there's ball 3. Evan not chasing that one. Zach Britton. That's up in the bullpen. Joey Butler on deck. Forsythe, the runner at first, reaching on the error. A strike. Longoria about to take a walk toward first. Rob Drake says that's strike 2 and the count is full.
He sweeps that breaking ball. This time he keeps it on the plate. That's a pitch you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with. Got another chance here. One good swing.
3-2. And he is is out on strikes, and boy, that 3-2 pitch, to see that pitch, you saw the result.
Yeah, Evan just got locked up here with the swing. Little indecision, and then tries to come down late.
So 2 outs. Joey Butler is due. David DeJesus comes out of the dugout to pinch hit. So Butler, who had a hit and 3 at-bats, departs. DeJesus gets the nod. That brings Buck Showalter out. He's had Britton, the tough lefty, ready in the bullpen, and he's going to go that way. He's lifted with the left-hander Zach Britton. Boy, a lot of moves here in the last couple innings, and it was so smooth for 5. Here's Britton making his 10th appearance. Forsythe at first. Jake Elmore to hit against Britton.
Anyway, sometimes when you get the ball rolling,
yeah, you can't stop it.
Yeah, and because this was a situation where the Rays got the ball rolling on their own with the pitching changes, and then it's just gone from there. Now it starts to eat into your bench.
Strike to Elmore. It's 1-1.
And scrambling at this point to try to find a combination that, number one, can get you back into this game, and hopefully somehow find a way to pull out a win.
Ground ball right side. Navarro takes it to first. Elmore is out, and the Rays are finished leaving a man. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Baltimore. with you at 6:30. Jay Odorizzi will be on the mound against Clay Buchholz. Coming off his no decision, working 2 outs into the 7th inning against the Red Sox on the 23rd. Delman Young leads off and fouls the first pitch here in the bottom of the 8th. So Odorizzi and Buchholz tomorrow. Then on Tuesday night, Bruce Smiley gets the call. Smiley and Porcello, and then Colomé back against Masterson in Game 3. Two strikes the count now on Young. David Lowe's going to be next, and then Caleb Joseph. Hot shot foul back to third. Low waiting to hit next. Ramirez worked an inning last Tuesday in New York. A scoreless inning with a strikeout. And will carry out a play. Well, we've seen 3 good catches down the first base side in the stands this game today. Shortstop Beckham, and he hops to throw in, and boy, Loney, a nice job right there.
Yeah, it was a nice scoop, but I'll tell you what, Delman Young may have beat that. That was close. Really close.
Buck standing a step or 2 in front of the dugout.
I think they did get him, but it was bang, bang.
And Timmons looking in on the call. And the Orioles.
They're gonna have to take a look at it.
Yeah, they want him to look it over.
I'll tell you what, if Delman Young would have gone to the front edge of the bag, he maybe beats it. But he goes more towards the middle, and I think that throw by Beckham gets into Loney's glove before the foot comes down on top of the bag. And the fact that this call has already gone in the Rays' favor, I think it stays in that corner.
Well, we've seen a challenge by the Rays, and they, again, were not successful with that one. And this one is not going to go in the Orioles' favor. So it will remain an out. Boy, look at that.
So close. And like I said, if he goes to the front edge, he's got a shot. But past that, Loney was able to corral that ball in time.
Lowe entered the game as a pinch runner in the 7th, so this is his first trip to the plate. Two. They have called that challenge, and the call at first confirmed. Lowe's out of there on strikes, missed the changeup.
Well, we know that's a big pitch for Ramirez. Not afraid to throw it to the lefties and the righties, and you can see here he keeps that ball down and away off the plate.
The catcher, Caleb Joseph, at the plate. By the mound. Forsythe makes this play. 1, 2, 3. Go the Orioles. The Rays coming in to hit in the ninth with Loney to lead it off. Four to 2. They'll face Zach Britton, who entered the game to get the last out in the 8th. James Loney will lead it off. Loney, Beckham, and Kiermaier due up.
A tall order here with Zach Britton. How effective that he can be, but guess what? Off the lefty earlier in the game. Not bad.
Loney's second home run of the year came on an 0-2 pitch. So he's up there now trying to get something started against a very tough left-hander in Zach Britton. One ball, no strikes.
Typically, you don't see that kind of sinking action on a fastball that's in the mid-90s. That one at 95, and that's what his bread and butter is.
Loney takes both of them too low, 2-0.
Oh, that's the one thing that you can do as a hitter. It's a tall task, but you see the ball coming out of Zach Britton's hand down. You just take, because it's going to continue to sink out of the zone. Easier said than done.
And now it's 3-0.
Get the tying run to the plate, see what happens.
Oh, look at that.
And ball 4. Britton walks Loney on 4 straight pitches. And there is a start.
Shortstop, Tim Beckham.
Beckham looking for his first hit today. Beckham a couple ground balls and a fly ball today, 0 for 3. And the fastball is in for a strike. 96 from Britton.
Tim Beckham just trying to time up, get a feel for that velocity, get one with a little bit of elevation. You know he doesn't want to walk Beckham either, so that got a better chance to get a ball up in the zone and go to belting it.
Quick strikes. Tick up to 96 on that one. And Beckham out on strikes. 3 fastballs in the mid-90s. And that's the first out.
Well, a 4-pitch walk and then a 3-pitch strikeout, all on the heater. This one's going to be middle of the plate in. And Britton, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of ground balls. How about this? His ground ball fly ball ratio last year was 147 to 22. This year, it's 17 to 2, almost a 9-to-1 ratio ground ball fly ball.
Attention, please. Pinch hitting for Kiermaier. Number 13, Asdrubal Cabrera.
Now Asdrubal Cabrera will come out to pinch hit for Kiermaier against the left-hander. Cabrera 1 out of 7 in his prior matchups against this left-hander Britton. It's a foul ball. Strike 1. It's a ball, says Rob Drake. 1-1. Just a piece of it. 1-2. Britton with 37 saves last year in 71 games. And a foul tip back into the mid of Joseph. 2 outs. So the Rays down to their final out after this strikeout of the pinch hitter Asdrubal Cabrera.
And almost able to sneak out of that glove with Caleb Joseph. That would have bought Cabrera another pitch, but he's able to corral it, and the Rays find themselves down to their final out.
Now Rene Rivera. Little tapper, third base side, rolling foul for a strike. So the Rays down to their final out, down by 2 runs. Baltimore scoring 3 in the 7th to take a 4-2 lead. Swing and a miss as Loney moves up to second on indifference, and 2 strikes the call and the count to Rivera. Well, barring some miracle here, you lose games during the season. This a tough way to lose a game.
It just got complicated before it needed to be.
Tap to third. Machado gloves and throws to first, and the game is over. Rays leave a man aboard in the 9th inning and drop this one 4-2 and drop the series to the Orioles 2-1. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left in the 9th inning. Hunter will get the win, Geltz the loss, and Britton will pick up the save in the 3rd game of this series against the Baltimore Orioles. Rays will now hit the road. They'll be headed to Boston, opening a 3-game series.